Hey everybody, welcome back. This is episode 4 of the Fat Guy Sports Talk podcast show thing. I'm Aaron.
I'm TJ.
All right, so that is both. That's
Yeah,
TJ.
that
That's
I'm
Tyler.
TJ.
We're all
we're-
pointing different directions, but we don't know where we're showing.
I'm
them on their
TJ.
screen right now.
Today we're continuing our expansive coverage of the 2020 NFL Draft. We're gonna hit the AFC East today. TJ, why don't you start us off with the division winner from last year?
That would be the New England Patriots.
You don't say.
I know, right? Tom Brady, except for he's not there anymore. So we'll start with the New England Patriots and what they've lost. Bo Allen, defensive tackle. Nope, that's wrong. That's what they gained. So they lost Tom Brady, quarterback. They call him the GOAT. I don't know if you've heard of him.
He's all right.
Wide receiver Philip Dorsett, tight end Ben Watson retired, offensive lineman Ted Karras, defensive tackle Danny Shelton, linebacker Landon Roberts, outside linebackers Jamie Collins and Kyle Van Noy, safety Duron Harmon, and kicker Steven Gostkowski. So they did lose some key points here. They did.
Ben
lose
Watson didn't retire in 2015.
I know, right?
I haven't heard his name in forever. I'm sorry.
I haven't
I thought
either.
he's been gone for years.
I know. When I saw that, I knew they had lost a tight end, but I never really looked into who it was.
Yeah.
And I looked and I was like that Ben Watson? So
I guess still have his
Steven-
rookie card from like 2002 or some shit.
If only that would have been it. Stop that.
No. Don't do that.
So notable losses, I would say definitely Steven Gostkowski. The guy's been an automatic for him, kind of replacing Adam Vinatieri when he was still there. Isn't Adam Vinatieri still playing? Pretty sure he's got like one more year.
Yeah.
Colts.
Kyle Van Noy is a pretty big loss down to the Dolphins. Jamie Collins is a big loss. Danny Shelton, I think he has bigger name value than he does actual ability on the field. And then, of course, Tom Brady leaving is huge for them. And as far as what they've gained, Bo Allen, defensive tackle on a 2-year deal. Demir Bird signed a 1-year deal. Brian Hoyer, remember if those who do know Tom Brady in his career, Brian Hoyer was his backup at one point and went on because he played well in relief. Marquise Lee signing on. Devin McCourty, the safety, has agreed to a 2-year deal. Adrian Phillips is a safety that signed on. Matthew Slater is a special teamer who agreed to an extension. Joe Thuney got franchise tagged, and then Danny Vitale agreed to terms with the Patriots. So Danny Vitale is a fullback, which is kind of interesting because the Patriots don't really run much fullback. If I can recall,
They still have James Devlin though, right?
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
still. They do still have James Devlin, as far as I believe. So
I mean, if he's the size of a tight end, Belichick likes him.
your mom's the size of it.
It's the way of the NFL. We're going back to
Tyler's
fullbacks.
mom. Shit, I forgot she could hear this. I didn't mean that. So as far as the draft, because we're going to move right the fuck past that, and they did not have their first round pick. Well, they had their first round pick, but they elected not to use it. Trading instead into the second round, 5th pick to draft Kyle Duggar out of Lenore Rhine.
That's a made-up university.
Which is a made-up universe. It's not a real school. I'm not even sure this is a real person.
Yeah.
Part of the Duggar family.
He's a safety in the 28th pick of the second round. They grabbed Josh Uche out of Michigan. 23rd pick in the third round, Anthony Jennings, edge rusher out of Alabama. 27th pick in the third round, Devin Asiasi, out of a tight end out of UCLA. 37th pick in the third round with one of their compensatory picks. They picked Dalton Keene, tight end out of Virginia Tech. 14th pick in the 5th round, Justin Rohrwasser out of Marshall. He's going to be the replacement for Steven Gostkowski. I don't know, man. Kickers that get drafted don't really do well unless your name's Sebastian Janikowski. So just saying that. Third round pick, or the third pick in the 6th round, guard Mike Onwenu. 16th pick in the 6th round, guard Justin Heron out of Wake Forest. Onwenu is from Michigan. Cash Malula is a 25th pick in the 6th round, linebacker out of Wyoming.
What
And
name?
Cash Malua?
I'm pretty sure there's a Little Wayne lyrics.
That reminds me of the Aaron.
Cash Moolah, baby.
No, what is it? It's Key and Peele, but it's the football name ones.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
you have like the one guy in the back, just like Aaron Rodgers. California. He's a linebacker out of Wyoming, and then Dustin Woodard, 16th pick, 7th round, is a center out of Memphis. I love Kyle Duggar. I think he's going to be fantastic in the NFL. I think he's going to be a perennial Pro Bowler for you. Josh Uche, I think he's not going to have a huge name, but he's going to be one of those guys on the Patriots that fits into everything that they ask him to do. He's going to be kind of like a Swiss Army knife. Anthony Jennings, he's got a lot of raw talent. I'm not too high on him. I'm really curious to see what Justin Morwasher does because they do love sticking with kickers for long periods of time. But kickers typically drafted the past few years, even going back to that Gaio, don't really do that well. So I don't know. Tyler, what do you think?
Honestly, the Patriots draft, I never have a bad word about the Patriots draft because Belichick's a genius at everything he does somehow, and somehow it works.
Yeah, they never pick up the big names, but they pick up solid players.
I don't know how it's going to be different because they don't have Tom Brady, but we saw what they did with Matt Castle. We saw what Garoppolo did there. We saw everyone that's gone through there has been tremendous. Brian Hoyer's back.
I mean, come on. You can't even say that. Matt Castle, I'll give Matt Castle credit. He filled in for Tom Brady. They went 10-6. And then he went to the Chiefs, and he did okay on a team that was
right. What I'm saying
okay.
Is they need Belichick.
Yeah, that's right. So I don't think it matters who quarterbacks that team. You could go quarterback it.
Looking at the draft, a lot of people are going to look at it and say, y'all didn't pick up a quarterback when you just lost Tom Brady. Why not?
Free agency,
and Belichick. He knows what he needs. He knows what he wants. And he knows what he's doing.
I
hate it.
One thing to keep in mind, since you jumped in, since both of you kind of jumped in on that, Bill Belichick has made a point of not announcing that Jarrett Stidham the starting quarterback. They even had one of the former offensive linemen, I think it was Matt Light, come on, he's like, the reason he hasn't announced it is because he doesn't know who's going to start. He'd like to say that, he has Jason Stidham has his entire confidence, but the dude's thrown like 4 passes in the NFL, and one of them was an interception.
It's not that he wants him to be the starter, but it's just Belichick knows what he wants in a quarterback and what he's going to do with his team anyway. You could literally throw anyone at him and be like, hey, he'll put him in, and they're going to win 8-9 games.
Go do some stuff.
Don't forget throwing a long shot out there. Cam Newton is still an unsigned free agent too.
I don't think he'll go to the Patriots.
I don't think so either, but it's the possibility that it's there. So
I mean, Cam Newton's out there. There's a couple other smaller ones that are out there that are still okay. But Brian Hoyer is not a terrible choice.
He's not. His only issue has been injuries.
Like 7-9.
I mean, he's never been that Aaron Rodgers level quarterback, even when he was healthy. But he, in my opinion, when he has been healthy, he's been solid. He has not been terrible. He's not a bad option to have if you're trying to lead your defense. He could fit the Trent Dilfer kind of mold on a team if it were to go to the Super Bowl. I don't think they can get there with that roster personally, but their defense also should not have been as good as it is on paper the past how many years. Bill Belichick's a genius. So
it's Belichick. You have to say it's Belichick because Patricia left.
You do.
They're still the same.
Patricia. I mean, well, hold on. When Matt Patricia was the defensive coordinator, they were terrible.
What?
Their stats were like bottom of the league, buddy. And you're doing this. And the thing is, he has these brilliant games. The thing about Matt Patricia that a lot of people don't realize is that Matt Patricia's schemes, for some reason, never work for him. No. But when people start to emulate what he does, and they have the personnel for it, his schemes are brilliantly executed. It's just that he's never had the people for his schemes. He's improved some people. They've had interceptions. They've had scoring, down in a few years. But ultimately, like the Patriots' defense was never one that scared people under Matt Patricia. He was a defense that they're going to hold you to enough points that Tom Brady's going to be able to win.
I am surprised though that they didn't go quarterback. With you saying the uncertainty of who the starter is, every time they traded all but one of their picks, they moved up and down throughout this entire draft. And the fact that with every pick I saw them take, I'm like, here's a quarterback, here's going to be a quarterback, and they never did. So it's going to be surprising to see who's under center for them next year. It's obvious to say, though, that they're not going to dominate this division like they have the past 20 years.
No.
They're not going to dominate. They're not going to be in the top of this division for at least 3 more years.
Even if Tom Brady is exposed, like I said, I think he's going to be in Tampa Bay, that he's not as good as everyone thinks he is. there's too many losses of key pieces on this team for, I think, them to overcome, Tom Brady being one of them. I think with Tom Brady just leaving, if they were able to keep some of the other pieces, we're talking about, another, maybe not a Super Bowl threat preseason, but I think they make the playoffs at least. But with all those pieces
gone. You're saying how smart Belichick is. 9 Super Bowls in the last 20 years, whatever.
Yeah.
Who's coming out in the draft next year for quarterback? How do we know he's not just tanking for Lawrence?
He doesn't seem like somebody that wants to tank.
Yeah. Let's be real on who we're talking about. No, Captain Arrogance, I will cheat against the Cleveland Browns. Belichick is not tanking for a fucking quarterback.
Okay, well, first of all, he worked for the Browns. It's probably just bad blood. But with that, it's just you never know. Like he might just have a decent team, get a low like 10, 12 overall pick, and then trade the fuck up for Lawrence. We don't know what he could be doing, and that's the terrible thing about Belichick.
I mean, the thing is, too, is I don't see Belichick as a guy that's going to fall in love to the point where he would tank his season for one quarterback. Mm-hmm. Belichick, he didn't.
But they lost.
He hasn't taken a quarterback in the first round his entire career. Mm-hmm. He didn't take one, not at least not New England. I don't want to go back to the Browns.
Even when he had Drew Bledsoe there.
6th-round pick. Hoyer's he wasn't their first round. He wasn't the one that drafted him. And Belichick looks for specific traits in his quarterbacks. I don't know what they are. I'm not Belichick. But I don't think he's the type of guy that's going to give up the farm or risk a losing season just for a quarterback. Especially because, like the rumor, I don't know Bill Belichick's mind, but the rumors has been, that Belichick's getting ready to go. He's getting ready to retire. But
I don't see him.
I don't know if ever.
No. Honestly, he just seems like he's
be trolling the sidelines like Al Davis. Give me speed.
But going back to the Patriots draft, you're right. Doug would be great. Amazing. I like Anthony Jennings. Yes, he's raw talent, but he's got a lot of it there. I think, and coming from Alabama alone.
I just think Anthony Jennings, he does have a lot of talent, but I don't think he's gonna blow up to the highest of his potential just because he's in a defense that shares a lot of stats.
Right. No, he's not gonna be So the Patriots, I've noticed, don't always have these crazy high stat stuffers because they do play.
Yeah, they do.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. Like he's not gonna have those, like Duggar's gonna have those numbers because he's safety spot, but being a linebacker, he's not gonna have those.
Yeah, you really only see stat stuffers out of the secondary there.
He's gonna be a solid player, though. I think.
Yeah.
Them going back-to-back tight end there just shows Belichick likes big, bulky guys.
He does. He likes his tight ends.
And then the kicker. I don't like drafting kickers.
They were going to need a kicker at some point eventually.
Yeah, but I mean, the amount of kickers that are coming in that you can bring in for workouts that were free agents.
Honestly,
true.
Why do they need a kicker? The kickoff field has been shortened for place kicking in kickoffs, and extra points. Just do 2-point conversions from the 2-yard line. You're Belichick.
Bro, who's running this football into the end zone for the Patriots? Mm-hmm. Where you see them kicking extra points? Because I don't see anybody on that team doing it. I see them having to kick field goals.
No. It's the Patriots.
Like, are you going to go play running back? Because, I mean, they don't got one.
They really don't. They don't have much of anything, honestly. I hate to say it, but the Patriots could be second best overall in the division, which would be last in any other division.
Honestly, I agree and I don't. The thing is, I think Bill Belichick's what makes that team. I never thought it was Tom Brady. Now, there's a damn good chance, and I'm saying this where it's recorded and can be thrown in my fucking face later. There is a damn good chance Tom Brady is what he is, and he fucking proves it in Tampa Bay. I just think Bill Belichick makes the team. I don't think they fall as much as people think they're going to, but it's also extremely possible. I just have a lot of faith in Belichick. I think they could win the division. None of the other teams scare me. None of them.
Really?
I don't know.
Josh Allen does not frighten me as a quarterback. He needs to make a leap. If Josh Allen makes a leap this year, I'm terrified of the Bills. And I'm terrified of the Bills if I'm not in this division if Josh Allen makes a leap. I don't know if Josh Allen can make a leap, though.
Well,
And since we're talking about the
over there?
Bills,
Yeah.
you like how I rolled that in there? I did that just for you, baby.
Yeah, I like it.
So Bills losses. They lost the timeless Frank Gore. They lost defensive tackle Corey Leggett, defensive tackle Jordan Phillips, defensive end Jack Lawson, outside linebacker Lorenzo Alexander, cornerback Kevin Johnson, and safety Kirk Coleman. And all I have to say to that is fucking ouch. Like Frank Gore, not going to be a big stat stuffer anymore, but he's good for morale, and he's still a
The
veteran
Shaq Lawson and Corey Leggett, though, that's
Shaq
going to hurt
Lawson
through
and
the
Corey
line.
Leggett. Kevin Johnson is another one that's going to hurt. That's a lot of pain. Like, that hurts my stomach. Jordan Phillips is no slouch. Like, he's a beast, too. The only name on there that I'm looking at and not going, ooh, that sucks to, is Kirk Coleman, and he's still pretty decent. Now, as far as gains, they had some big gains. They brought in edge rusher Mario Addison, agreed to terms on a 3-year deal. Defensive tackle Vernon Butler is going to fill in nicely for Corey Leggett. I think Butler's an upgraded version of him. Signed on a 2-year deal. They also brought in Stephen Diggs, so Josh Allen has no excuse now because he has a legitimate number 1 target on that team. And Stephen Diggs is a beast, and he's my kind of receiver. He's a slightly undersized receiver with crazy leaping ability and outstanding body control. Love that in a receiver because you can put the ball anywhere. I don't know if Josh Allen can actually hit anywhere, but we're going to find out. EJ Gaines comes in at cornerback on a 1-year deal. Quentin Jefferson, I don't know if he signed yet, but the last time I saw it, and it's still on NFL.com this way, is that he's expected to sign with the Bills. He's a defensive end. Josh Norman, who you may remember being good once upon a time, like 15 years ago, signed on a 1-year deal. Yeah, he can come in to be the special teams. I don't know, man. Josh Allen hasn't been good for a while. He's going to say Norman. He is. Exactly. I don't even remember his name, and I'm looking at it on my screen. Quinn Spain, offensive guard, re-signed, and Darrell Williams, offensive lineman, signed on a 1-year deal. I kid on the Josh Norman thing. Like, Josh Norman's solid. He's not that shutdown corner anymore. He's a solid number 2, and he's a guy that can come in there if he's willing to. He does have that kind of arrogant attitude to him. I don't know if he'd be willing to mentor somebody, but be a fantastic option for it. EJ Gaines is a little bit raw. He can come in and play the nickel. I love the Stephen Diggs pickup. Like, that in my outside of the DeAndre Hopkins, I think this is the second best offseason move in the NFL, not counting the draft, obviously. As far as draft picks, 22nd pick in the 2nd round, they grabbed AJ Epinesa. I cannot pronounce his name. Epinesa, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Defensive end out of Iowa. I love him, by the way. I think he's going to be a monster. 22nd pick in the 3rd round, Zach Moss, running back out of Utah. I don't care. He could be. It's just not a pick that excites me, honestly. Like, Zach Moss, don't get me wrong. He could be very, very good. I think he's going to be one of those backs that bounces around the league and splits carries with a bunch of people or just provides depth at the end of his career. I don't see him becoming a star. 22nd pick, 4th round, Gabriel Davis, wide receiver out of UCF. My favorite pick, 22nd pick in the 5th round, Jake from State Farm, quarterback out of Georgia. And the reason I love this is because during the State Farm Bowl, they put his name up on there, and they had Jake from State Farm. And I guarantee you they've been waiting for this joke since they heard this dude was signed to Georgia. I love Jake Fromm. Like, yeah, I think he could be really, really good.
I'm with you.
And I think he could be the starter in Buffalo. I really do.
I'll share my thoughts on him.
Then you got Tyler Bass, another kicker coming out in the 9th pick of the 6th round, kicker out of Georgia Southern. 28th pick in the 6th round, you have Isaiah Hodgins, wide receiver out of Oregon State. And then 25th pick in the 7th round, Dane Jackson, cornerback out of Pittsburgh. I think he's going to be a sleeper. Aaron, talk.
It's my turn. Yeah, Bills, I actually think, had a pretty good draft here. The defense took some big hits, like you mentioned there, but they're still going to compete for this division, and I think they're going to take this division next year. Zach Moss.
That was vodka, and I did not realize it.
Zach Moss. Utah has been, I think they're finally starting to get some recognition on the college level, but they've been an underrated program for a long time. And dude is going to come in and fill a hole with Frank Gore leaving. So is AJ Epinesa. But Jake Fromm, I wanted the Bears to take him I knew he was going to fall. I wanted the Bears to take him. If you want
So
to
you guys could
learn,
ruin another quarterback.
yeah, right. If you
By
want
the
to
time I went Buffalo, he's fucked anyways.
learn more about him, there's a show on Netflix called QB1 that he, in the first season, he was a part of. It was his senior year in high school, and you'll learn a lot about him off the field and what he brings to the field. The big weakness of his game is his deep ball. He doesn't have a strong arm, but he's accurate. He's a competitor, and he knows how to win. This dude loves football, and he's going to come in. He's going to learn the playbook. He'll be a solid backup behind Josh Allen. And like you said, if Josh Allen doesn't take a step forward this year, I solidly believe Jake Fromm can take that offense over.
No, and let's hold on. If we're going to talk about this, it's Jake from State Farm.
Jake Fromm, State Farm. Sorry.
Thank you.
Whose mom is smoking hot, by the way. Look her up, too.
Fair enough.
Okay, hold on. I've got something to do real quick. I'll share the link in the chat.
Well, I gotta say something here. You've been saying a lot about Josh Allen this, Josh Allen that. You both know that I have been high on Josh
Holy
Allen's
shit!
forever.
You saw his mom, didn't you?
But
whatever.
Josh Allen, I
Don't judge
believe,
me.
is a winner and he's a leader.
Mhm.
He had a great arm. Last year, he showed so much more than what he did his rookie year. And just bringing Stefan Diggs in alone, that's going to drive it through the roof.
I agree.
I love Josh Allen there. You're right. If he doesn't take a step, Jake Fromm, State Farm, will take the starting spot. If not, in 2 years, he will be starting somewhere else. And he will take that team far into the playoffs because he is a winner also. I love Jake Fromm. But Josh Allen, people got to stop sleeping on him. He's going to take the Bills far.
Yeah, if he can get his head out of his ass. I'm not saying he can't do it.
Saying he almost did
I'm
it
just saying
last
I don't
year.
know if I trust the Buffalo coaching staff to get him
I
there.
mean,
Because
they got the Mafia.
well, they have the Raiders Mafia too, and they've done
Okay,
so
so
well.
Raiders Mafia are actually real
Shut the
mafia
fuck
from
up.
prison.
Okay, there we go. I got really defensive there for a minute. Like, I haven't talked shit about the Packers in 3 weeks. You ain't starting on the Raiders. We're not doing that. All right. Are we on the Jets now? We're on the Jets.
Yeah, let's switch over to the Jets.
Unless, Howard, do you have anything else to say about the draft?
Honestly, the Bills had a really decent draft. So far, that's 2 decent drafts in a row. One because Belichick doesn't fuck up, and the Bills just had a good draft.
The Bills did have a good draft. All right, so they've lost quarterback Trevor Siemian, running back Ty Montgomery, who cares? Wide receiver Robbie Anderson, probably the biggest loss they've had offensively. Everyone loves him. I think he's trash, but, whatever. C'est la vie. Wide receiver Demaryius Thomas, who I don't think knows how to catch a football anymore. Offensive tackle Ryan Khalil. Offensive tackle Kelvin Beachum. Linebacker Brandon Copeland. Cornerback Darrell Roberts. And cornerback Maurice Kennedy. Ty Montgomery should have stayed a wide receiver. We talked about this already. I'm not going to get into that. Robbie Anderson, he's not trash.
No.
It's just the guy cannot run routes.
No.
And I question his hands. And I also
Like
question
I
his
said,
ability to break tackles. But the dude's a burner. So
like I said, he was a good receiver on a terrible team.
Yeah, he was a good, not a great, good receiver on a terrible team. Now, keep in mind, though, too, like, that doesn't mean that he didn't have anybody to throw to. I mean, he was the best option on that team. We're talking about Demaryius Thomas. His biggest, the people remember him from the Tim Tebow
he hasn't been good since Jesus was throwing the ball. Yeah,
I know.
The
guy can't catch. I thought so too, but the guy can't catch. Ryan Khalil hurts a little bit, but the dude never built up to the fame he had in the draft. Honestly, he's always kind of underperformed. Kelvin Beachum.
To be honest, anyone the Jets lost outside of Robbie Anderson,
I'm not too worried.
It's the Jets.
Yeah,
is it much of a loss?
Yeah, they did not have the
know.
best roster. No, as far as their pickups,
like they could take their whole.
You're talking about Josh Andrews. No, but if we're going to their pickups, Josh Andrews, I love this signing for them. He's a center guard hybrid. He played for he's fantastic. I think on the inside, huge upgrade to that offensive line. Pierre Desir is a cornerback that's signed in. George Fant, I think, is incredibly overpaid with this deal. I don't think he's as good as he for $10 million a year. I really don't. They brought in Joe Flacco to kind of mentor Sam Darnold. We'll see how that goes. Flacco has been adamant that he wants to start in the NFL. He's not going to beat out Darnold for the job.
He's been adamant
No.
for that his whole career. He never should have, though.
He did win a Super Bowl, and he played better than Trent Dilfer in it, so we have to give him at least that much credit.
He got bailed out in every playoff game.
I don't want to talk about
Torrey
it.
Smith.
Oh,
No. Torrey Smith saved Flacco's career.
Anquan Bolden.
Him too. But no,
Baltimore defense.
No,
Baltimore
you're not going
defense.
to. I'm sorry. No, if we're going to talk about a Super Bowl, we're not naming Torrey Smith the fucking hero of that game. We are naming Anquan Bolden that hero, though.
I'm talking about the
and the power
leading up to
guy.
it. The playoffs leading up to it, Torrey Smith caught 2 bombs.
Torrey
bail
Smith was
to bail
fantastic
Flacco
in
out.
the playoffs. That's true.
Like,
Flacco's never been elite. He's been at his best.
he's been like Melly.
He's been
He got paid like
an
he's elite, though.
occasional. He's been an occasional Pro Bowler at his best. Like, he's not an every year guy. He's not a perennial dude. But anyways, then they went in and they brought in Frank Gore on a 1-year deal. Edge rusher Jordan Jenkins comes in on a 1-year deal. He never lived up to the billing that he had coming out of college. Alex Lewis comes in at guard. I think he'll add I think this is a new deal. He was there already, I believe. Connor McGovern signing on a 3-year deal with them as a center. He'll provide some depth in there. And that's, I think, really what you're seeing with a lot of these signings, too, is depth. Noah Fant's not going to be fantastic, but he can hold down a side. And he's not going to be a terrible fit in there. It's just, I don't think $10 million a year money. Then we're talking in as a replacement for Robbie Anderson as Brashard Perriman as a wide receiver, signed a 1-year deal. I don't think he's any good. None of us really do. He did have that stretch in Tampa Bay where he caught 5 touchdowns in 3 games or 5 games.
Yeah, Willie Snead did that too, didn't he?
Yeah, Willie Snead did that too. And that was the biggest disappointing pickup in free agency for fantasy football I ever had. I was so stoked he didn't get drafted. Signed him, and I was like, he's healthy, right? And everyone's like, yup. No points. What a waste. Then they did pick up Patrick Onwuasor, linebacker, agreed to terms to join the Jets. Shut up, Tyler. And Brian Poole, I think I already mentioned, cornerbacks re-signing. And then Greg Van Roten is an offensive lineman that did sign up. Going to their draft, they liked their draft. Now, I loved Mekhi Becton pick. In my mind, he was the best offensive tackle in the draft behind Taylor Wirfs. And the fact they got him at 11 with a run on offensive tackles in this draft, I think is fantastic. I don't think he's worthy enough to start at left tackle immediately. I think he needs to get some NFL experience, catch up to game time, and with how this offseason is working, I don't think it's going to work out. But he will be, I think, a top-notch left tackle for the Jets. I think they did a good job there. Denzel Mims, I really like out of Baylor. I think he's going to be pretty decent. Ashton Davis, I think he is going to provide very good depth in the secondary. Jabari Zuniga, edge rusher out of Florida. And I'm sorry, I've been doing picks. Mekhi Becton was the 11th pick in the first round. Denzel Mims, 27th in the second out of Baylor. He's a wide receiver. Ashton Davis was the 4th pick in the 3rd round, safety out of California. Jabari Zuniga, it was the 15th pick in the 3rd round, a edge rusher out of Florida. I like Zuniga a lot. I don't know if it's going to translate to the NFL, but I think he had a damn good shot at being very productive. 14th pick in the 4th round, LaMichael Perrin, running back out of Florida. I don't have strong feelings about LaMichael Perrin. James Morgan, 19th pick in the 4th round, quarterback out of Florida International. Okay. 23rd pick in the 4th round, Cameron Clark, guard out of Charlotte. 13th pick, 5th round, Bryce Hall, cornerback out of Virginia. And then 12th pick in the 6th round, Brady Man, a punter out of Texas A&M.
It's one thing to draft a kicker, but a punter?
What is with
Seriously?
the AFC East, man? Why are they drafting legs? Tyler, you love a man legs. You tell us why they're drafting legs.
You know what? It's all about the legs. You got the calf,
all
you got the
about
thigh.
the legs.
There's a knee in the middle somewhere. It's all works.
Right,
Looking
what
at
do you
that,
think?
I like it. I like their draft. I do like the Mekhi Becton pick right away. He is really good. I like what you say, how he shouldn't start, but he's going to.
I agree.
Jets, and the Jets are going to
He
start
might
him.
not start at left tackle, but he's starting
gonna-
somewhere on that offensive line.
Exactly. And the Jets are going to rush it like they do everything because the Jets, and they need to. Honestly, though, the only bad thing about their draft that I don't like is they didn't get enough offensive line. I know they got a lot in free agency and everything, but that's the worst thing about that team.
I think
I mean,
you're starting to see this team start to build for the future. They know they're not in a position where I think they know they lucked out at 7-9 last year.
Oh my God, yes.
I think Darnold is going to be a lot better. I think Gase is in a much better position. He was unhappy last year working under that GM, and this GM actually has his head out of his ass. This, in my opinion, is a fantastic draft. It's just that they were so talent poor on the Jets that even a great draft like this and picking up solid value in free agency, it doesn't come close to filling their hole.
Right, and no, they're not by any means going to be winners this year. But I just feel if they want to actually have Darnold be the elite quarterback they think he can be, they need to build that offensive line now.
And that's what I think they're trying to do.
Later.
They grabbed Becton, they grabbed Fant, but when Becton's ready to take left, Fant will shut down the right side of that
line. The next one, Denzel Mims, I like him. Skipping down a bit, getting Perrine from Florida, I don't mind that because they do need depth for running back at that team.
Agreed.
The next one, James Morgan, I actually heard a lot about that because outside of Jordan Love, Packers were actually looking at him to pick him up later because they like his play style, and also he's the same size that every quarterback wants to be, 6'4", 230. Like, he's a prototypical quarterback size. He's going to be a good backup to Darnold, and that's about all he's ever going to do in his career, though, is backup.
And now he realizes he's a punter.
Yeah. I've realized it.
You just love those legs, Tyler.
It's man legs.
So
but, honestly, it's a decent draft, though. I do like their draft.
They do.
They filled some of the spots.
This AFC East draft has been really stellar. It has been. Even Miami.
I'm excited for. I think Miami's the best draft.
I would agree. Out of the AFC East or the whole NFL?
Out of the AFC East, not the whole NFL. No.
Okay, thank you.
Out of the AFC East.
What's up, Aaron?
I agree that Mekhi Becton pick is great. The dude's a fucking giant. He's 6'7", 364. But I think Denzel Mims is gonna go down as their best pick. I'm shocked that he fell to the second round. I thought
standing up off his couch.
Yeah. I thought for sure Mims would go to either Philly or Green Bay in the first round, and the fact that he fell to the Jets in the second, he has a chance to become like the next Keyshawn Johnson there. And he's big, he's fast, and he's long. He's going to be a star there.
Who did you say?
Yeah.
No. Who did he say is going to be like Keyshawn Johnson?
Denzel Mims.
I thought he was talking about Mekhi Becton. I was like, bro, that's the wrong position.
He's got to shed some weight.
I was like, the fucking
I'm sorry. You're going to tell someone that.
Get Joe Thomas svelte.
I'm saying, Becton comes in and says, I want to play wide receiver. He's big enough. I'm like, hey, don't hurt me. You can try it.
Yeah.
Try.
I'm not. I'm going to say, go ahead and run around this fucking track 10 times because I know I can't.
The other pick on there that's good is that LaMichael Pirine. I think he's a little bit better than his brother Samaje, who I had really high hopes for in Washington, but just hasn't panned out. I think LaMichael's going to have a little bit better career, but not going to be a star by any means. But overall, a solid draft for the Jets. They just have a lot of work to do.
He'll be a good depth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. Pirine's going to be a great depth there. That's what they need. Like we all said, they need to build for the future, build depth, build a roster that when their first parts get injured like they always do, there's someone still there.
Y'all are a bunch of fucking traitors, which you are.
Why?
Going on to the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Miami Dolphins lost tight end Clive Warford, offensive tackle Jamarcus Webb, offensive lineman Evan Boehm, defensive end Charles Harris, defensive end Taco Charlton, who has my favorite first name, cornerback Aqib Talib, who I didn't even know was still playing, to be honest, and safety Rashad Jones. The Rashad Jones is pretty lost. I'm just kidding about Aqib Talib. I mean, Aqib Talib can still play. He's not elite anymore, but he's still a guy that could help some teams.
He's got that Tramon Williams style to him,
but they don't need him
playing. But he's just.
I never thought I would say that the Miami Dolphins couldn't use a player like Aqib Talib, but they don't. They did a great job in free agency, and that's what we're about to get into. So they signed Adrian Colbert, re-signed him to the team. Signed Eric Flowers to come in and play offensive tackle, which I think was a great move. Signed Kamu Grugier Hill. He's a linebacker. He's going to provide some depth. Jordan Howard's coming in at running back to try to, I don't know, does he even still have legs?
Philly used him wrong. Howard was great in Chicago. They got rid of him.
Great is an overstatement. He was above average to good. He was not great.
Yeah, I liked him. He was a surprise.
In those years, he was top 5.
He was top 5. He was a surprise. I'll give him that. I don't think
So
he was great by any means.
Being top 5 that year.
But I will agree, the Eagles definitely used him wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be used any more right in Miami, to be honest. It's possible he's an upgrade, and if he can provide some use there, great. I just don't know if he has a lot left in him. Keep in mind, that's been a couple years now since he was in Chicago. Running backs don't get younger.
And he's had injuries, too, that have
and he's had injuries.
He's not going to do anything great, but I think he's a solid someone to stick in there.
I think they should have gone a little bit harder at running back, in my opinion, and even in the draft. But sorry, not the draft, free agency. At quarterback position, they brought in Byron Jones, $82 million deal with 45.5. I think Byron Jones got paid way too damn much money. I don't think he's lockdown corner material, number one.
Yeah.
Yes, he gets a lot of breakups. He doesn't have a lot of completion percentage. Xavier Rhodes didn't either. And problem is, didn't get a lot of picks either, and neither does Byron Jones. Byron Jones is in his 5th year of his career with 3 interceptions to his name. Maybe 4. Might be 4. In his 5th year, he now has 3 or 4 interceptions to his name. I can't justify paying somebody $18 million for that little level of production. Now, keep in mind, super low QBR against him, breaks up a lot of passes, very high in passes defended. But if I'm paying somebody that kind of money, I want the ball back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't want to just stiffen it up, Tyler. We're moving on from that. They signed Ted Karras, offensive lineman. Shaq Lawson came over. That's a big signing for him. That's going to help them out a lot. Emmanuel Ogbah is coming over. I thought he would be better coming out of college. He did not show the drive to get better. Maybe he's okay in Miami. Landon Roberts comes in as a linebacker, and Kyle Van Noy is a Swiss Army knife that will fill in really nicely on this team. Going over to the draft, 5th overall pick in the 1st round, quarterback Tua Tagovailoa.
Come on.
Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa. I was saying this name all day long, like practicing. Like I was talking to people on the phones about lawn care, and I was like, I think there was one person we were talking about the draft, and I said this name like 9 times. I knew I'd have to talk about it tonight. Now I don't even know what I'm doing right now. But he's quarterback out of Alabama. I think he's going to be the franchise quarterback and get them the Super Bowl, to be honest. 18th pick in the 1st round, Austin Jackson, tackle out of USC. I think the dude's going to be a beast. They knocked another one out of the park with him. 30th pick in the 1st round. I'm not even going to try that one right now, buddy.
Let me see.
Mr. Noah, quarterback out of Auburn.
Aaron's got it.
I think it's
Igbenogene. Yeah, there you go.
All right, we're going to call him Igbenogene and then get yelled at by people that actually
know what the fuck I'm
talking about.
I think it's Igbenogene.
All right. Dope. Cornerback out of Auburn. I think he's going to be solid. I like all 3 of their 1st round picks. 2nd round, Robert Hunt, tackle out of Louisiana Lafayette. I think he could emerge as a good player out there. He was the 7th round pick in the 2nd round, or 7th pick in the 2nd round. Then you have the 24th pick in the 2nd round. Raekwon Davis, defensive tackle out of Alabama. He's going to be a monster in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
6th pick in the 3rd round, Brandon Jones, safety out of Texas. He's going to be solid in the NFL. 5th pick in the 4th round, Solomon Kinley out of Georgia. He's going to provide a ton of depth. 9th pick in the 5th round, Jason Strowbridge, defensive end out of North Carolina. Not exactly sold on him being very productive. Probably going to bounce around a few years as a depth player at defensive end. 19th pick in the 5th round, Curtis Weaver, edge rusher out of Boise State. I feel the same as I do about Jason Strowbridge. I don't think he's anything special. 6th pick in the 6th round, long snapper Blake Ferguson out of LSU.
He's not a kicker.
No, but he's another useless special teams player you don't draft. 32nd pick, Mr. Irrelevant, is Malcolm Perry out of Navy. I like Perry a lot. I don't think he's going to amount to anything great, but I think he could provide a lot of depth for somebody.
Can we just appreciate the fact that their first 7 picks are probably going to make this team? And maybe
I would
be
say
starting
most
lineup?
of these picks are going to make the starting
Well, no,
lineup.
I'm just saying those first 7 picks
the
right
team.
away.
Yeah, I think all of them. Yeah, I honestly do.
By the end of the year,
honestly
that
wouldn't play
first 7 could
Tagovailoa
be-
right away.
No,
I would
by the end
wanna-
of the year.
Yeah, by the end of the year,
Fitzpatrick's going to start
but
the first couple games. Did
I
you see
agree.
his beard? He has to.
I'm not going to look so much at who the people are, but I'm going to look the direction that they went. They attacked the best conference in college football, the SEC. They drafted 5 players from SEC schools. If you want to get the
Look at
best
their
players,
top
you
5
go to the
picks.
best conference.
Alabama, USC, Auburn, Louisiana, and Alabama, Georgia,
LSU at the end too. Yep.
And
Yeah.
keep in mind, they also threw in Boise State and North Carolina and Texas in there too.
But another good ups to them too is they had 3 first-round picks. They could have traded at least 2 of them. Bravo to them for hanging on to them and picking some high-quality players instead of drafting, wasting them. Yeah. So Brian Flores did a great job by holding on to those picks. He's got the talent. I think he can.
All about that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, there was a nice little documentary on ESPN this week about your favorite wide receiver, Kevin White.
Why does he have a documentary?
About his injuries.
About his injuries and how a failed NFL career he was.
He was like, I feel gypped. Because, like, injuries still my career. I was like,
be mad at your parents for giving you bad genes and shitty shins.
Oh, yeah. Call your mom up and tell her you're ashamed, which you should be doing.
You should have given me more milk.
You should have drinking your milk as a child.
Out of your Ospros's ass. Come
on. But Raekwon Davis is going to be a solid run stopper for them in the middle. It's really good. Him and Shaq, they got Shaq Lawson, you said, right?
Yeah.
Not to mention anybody that
he stayed in the division.
Yeah. How many other division people did they sign? They signed Van Noy, Shaq Lawson. Like, they're just reaping the benefits of the other teams.
They've been terrible from that division for a while, so they know
for a long time.
Like, they're like, hey, you scared us, come join us.
But let's be honest, though, the Jets and the Dolphins are still going to be battling for last place in that division.
I don't know about that. Battling for I don't see them. I don't know.
I don't think they're the worst team in that division this year.
No.
The Dolphins?
Yeah.
No.
I don't. Honestly, that could fall down to the here's one thing. It could either fall down to the Patriots or it could fall down to the Jets or Dolphins.
I think
that division is so
I think the Jets will be in the middle just because they did make enough moves. I think it's going to be either the Patriots are going to be good and be like second or first in the play,
or they're going to be dead last.
Yeah. Or the Jets in last.
Yeah.
One of those two.
The first time in a long time this division is going to have one playoff team, and it's not going to be the Patriots.
Yeah.
They're not going to have a wild card.
It's not really first time in a long time. Not
since 2010.
Making the playoffs.
Patriots have been in there for the last decade.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that they haven't had more than one team in a while. Outside of the Bills last year, and then the last time, it was the Jets.
But when's the last time they did not have a wild card and the Patriots didn't win the division? That's what I'm saying.
Oh, it's been a while.
Yeah.
No. Since they had a wild card 2 years ago?
Since they didn't have a wild card and the Patriots didn't win the division. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Pull it up.
Like, because the Jets won the division in 2010, but I'm pretty sure the Patriots still got the wild card.
Yeah, I thought they didn't make the playoffs with Matt Castle.
2018. Like I said.
What?
The only team in the AFC East that made the playoffs was the Patriots.
Yeah, we said when the Patriots didn't win the division.
Didn't win the division, and they didn't have a wild card.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I don't pay attention to a fucking word you guys say. I just – whatever, bro. I would also like to point out that because Madison may watch this, I asked to do a Bachelor recap because Sheridan was wrong, and they vetoed me.
Fat guy sports talk.
Whatever.
Sports.
Hey, ESPN
Oh,
used to have
ChatGPT.
Fantasy Bachelor
Yeah,
on it, so
They did. They had Fantasy Bachelor, so you can kiss my
Making
taint.
fantasy these nuts. Okay, we're not doing a Bachelor episode. But on that note, again, this is another week of Fat Guy Sports Talk. Again, this is the AFC East. I am Tyler.
I'm Aaron.
And
TJ.
See you next week. And real quick, this episode's dedicated out there to George Floyd.
Yeet.
Take care.
Yeah.